Get ready to witness a 200-meter race that turned into pure chaos. This video analyzes how one athlete took control early, while others battled desperately behind for survival, in a heat that defied expectations.
Salwa from Bahrain.
Representing Kingdom of Bahrain, Salwa Nasser.
Haji Saran.
Lane 6, representing Republic of Guinea, Haja Saran.
From Guinea. Lamia from Azerbaijan.
Republic of Azerbaijan, Lamia Valieva.
سباق 200 متر السباق الأول سيدة.
This is the women's 200 meter.
So this will be women 200 meters round one, head to one, who will reach to the final. We will see. Let's go, here we go with the 200 meters for women here. And who is in the first? Here we go. Inijan is in the first place. Anita from Nigeria has gotten the first place here. Here was the result for the first round. Anita from Nigeria.
Those attempts have been scratched. Right, now let's turn our attention to the women's 200-meter final. Two runners from Nigeria, two from Bahrain. The quickest time belonging to Odiong, Edidi Odiong of Bahrain, in terms of personal bests. And also Salwa Nasser, a quick time for her as well. So you'd expect one of the Bahraini girls to cross the line first, certainly based on personal best times. But that's not always how it pans out. So Bahrain in lane 2, Bahrain in lane 7, Nigeria in lane 1, and Nigeria in lane 6.
2025 مليئة بالتفاعل والذكريات الجميلة لكل الأعمار.
Thompson Omokwe, who we saw just a little bit earlier tonight, getting a medal around her neck for the 4x100 meter relay final.
For the women's 200 meter final.
في الحارة الأولى ممثلة جمهورية نيجيريا الاتحادية.
Lane 1, representing
So she goes.
Nigeria, Maria
Omokwe, Maria Omokwe in lane 1.
وفي الحارة الثانية ممثلة
The favourite,
Lane 2,
Salwa Nasser of Bahrain, goes in lane 2. She too has already picked up a medal this evening for the relay.
Lane 3,
Azerbaijan and Valieva go in lane 3.
في الحارة الرابعة ممثلة جمهورية غامبيا.
From the Gambia,
representing Republic of Gambia.
Isatou Sey.
Isatou Sey.
She goes in lane 4.
في الحارة الخامسة ممثلة جمهورية الكاميرون.
From Cameroon, Tonjok, Koli Tonjok. She goes in lane 5.
في الحارة السادسة ممثلة جمهورية
In lane 6, Anita Enaruna, the second of the Nigerians.
Nigeria, Anita, Itohan, Enaruna.
في الحارة السابعة ممثلة مملكة البحرين.
In lane 7, it's the second of the Bahrainis, Edidi Odiong. Keep an eye on her in this race.
في الحارة الثامنة ممثلة مملكة
And
المغرب.
in lane 8, it's the Moroccan Sarah El Hashimi.
سباق 200 متر نهائي فئة السيدات.
This is the women's 200-meter final.
So the women's 200-meter final is about to get underway here at the Prince Faisal bin Fahad Stadium in Riyadh.
On your marks.
And they're away.
ينطلق سباق
The final of the women's 200 meters. Who will come off the bend first? Odiong in lane 7 is going very strong indeed, the Bahraini. As she heads down the back straight, it's going to be Odiong of Bahrain. Odiong of Bahrain comfortably across the line from her colleague, I think, Salwa Nasser in lane 2. I think she's picked up the silver. A big hug between those two. Nasser came very strong in the final 30 yards. And I think it may be a Bahraini 1-2. As far as third place is concerned, I think it was Koli Tonjok of Cameroon who came home in third, but there were 2 or 3 that were bunched close together. There's confirmation. The favourite, Edidi Odiong, 22.29 for her. She takes gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest.
And you knew as she come round that bend,
let me tell you about
putting distance between herself and the others, you knew as soon as she got onto the straight, she would just light it up. And that's exactly what Edidi Odiong did.
Known across the world and passed down from
Across the line comfortably
generation.
from the rest. Salwa Nasser was pushed all the way.
Perfect company for the Riyadh 2025
And there's
athletes. He's also artistic, loves
a hug for the third place finisher, Koli Tonjok of Cameroon. So Odiong in 22.99, Salwa Nasser crossed the line in 23.52.
Memorable for all ages.
There's the 3 medalists, and Koli Tonjok, she did a time of 23.60, I beg your pardon, yes, 23.60 for Koli Tonjok.
at the screen for the results of the women's 200-meter final.
So, gold and silver to Bahrain, bronze to Cameroon. And there's confirmation of the times.
The opening heat of the women's 200 meters at the Islamic Solidarity Games delivered a level of intensity and narrative depth that far exceeded the expectations typically associated with early round competition. What is often treated as a procedural step toward the final instead became a revealing showcase of tactical intent, psychological positioning, and individual ambition. Rather than a conservative, energy-preserving run, this race unfolded as a statement. One that exposed not only physical readiness, but also the mindset each athlete brought onto the track. At the center of this unfolding story was Anita Itohan Enaruna of Nigeria, whose approach immediately distinguished her from the rest of the field. From the moment the starting gun echoed, Enaruna demonstrated a level of urgency rarely seen in preliminary heats. Her drive phase into the curve was both explosive and controlled, marked by efficient stride mechanics and a clear commitment to establishing dominance early. Where others might prioritize relaxation and qualification, she chose authority. Her execution through the bend was particularly noteworthy. The 200 meters demands a delicate balance between aggression and technical discipline, especially in the curve where races can be won or lost. Enaruna maintained a strong forward lean, kept her stride frequency high without overstriding, and transitioned smoothly into an upright position as she approached the straight. By the time the athletes exited the curve, she had already created a decisive separation, not just in distance, but in psychological pressure. What made her performance stand out even more was the composure she displayed once in front. Rather than tightening up or forcing the pace unnecessarily, she allowed her mechanics to flow naturally. Her relaxation down the straight suggested confidence in both her preparation and her race plan. This was not an impulsive surge. It was a controlled imposition of superiority, designed to send a message to both competitors and observers. However, while Enaruna's dominance shaped the front of the race, the true competitive tension emerged behind her. The contest for the remaining qualifying positions transformed into a complex tactical battle where different racing philosophies clashed in real time. Some athletes attempted to conserve energy early, relying on a late acceleration once they hit the straight. Others aimed to maintain a consistent rhythm throughout, hoping that efficiency would carry them through the line. This contrast in approaches created a dynamic and unpredictable chase. As the athletes entered the final 60 meters, the gaps between them began to compress rapidly. What had seemed like clear positioning midway through the race dissolved into a tightly packed sprint, where fractions of a second determined outcomes. The athletes were forced into immediate decisions, whether to commit fully to a final push or risk holding back for potential later rounds. Technically, this phase of the race highlighted the importance of transition and fatigue management. Athletes who had misjudged their effort on the curve began to show signs of tightening, shoulders rising, stride length shortening, and cadence becoming uneven. In contrast, those who managed their energy more effectively were able to produce a late surge, capitalizing on the slightest openings. The finish line, approaching at full speed, became a decisive threshold where execution under pressure outweighed raw speed alone. The psychological dimension of this heat cannot be overstated. Early rounds often test discipline, the ability to stay within a plan despite the temptation to overcommit. Yet Enaruna's aggressive strategy disrupted that equilibrium. By setting such a high early standard, she forced others out of their comfort zones, compelling them to react rather than execute their own strategies. This shift from control to reaction is where